My name is Clara, and I'm 27 years old. Imagine this. It's the happiest day of your life, your wedding day. Family and friends surround you, laughter fills the air, and love feels like it's flowing in every corner of the room. Now imagine one of the people you trust most, your own sister, taking advantage of that sacred moment. She didn't just betray me. She stole something precious, something given with love and blessings, my wedding gift money. And as if that wasn't enough, she tried to ruin my honeymoon too. I'll tell you everything that happened. But before I do, if you want to see how this unbelievable story unfolds, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more shocking and emotional family drama stories. At first, everything was perfect. I had dreamed of this day since I was a little girl. My fiancé, now husband Ryan, looked at me like I was the only person in the room, and I truly believed we were starting our lives together surrounded by nothing but love. The reception was filled with music, flowers, and clinking glasses of champagne. But behind the smiles and photographs, my sister Lily had her own plan. Lily was always the wild one in the family. She was only a year younger than me, but we couldn't have been more different. I worked hard, built a stable career, and carefully planned my future. She lived recklessly, jumping from job to job, drowning in debt, and constantly expecting bailouts from mom, dad, or me. But still, she was my sister. I thought no matter her flaws, she would respect the sanctity of my wedding day. I couldn't have been more wrong. The wedding gifts table was stacked with envelopes. Family and friends had been generous, and Ryan and I were grateful. The plan was to collect everything after the reception and secure it in a locked box at our hotel before flying off on our honeymoon the next morning. But at some point in the chaos of speeches, dancing, and photos, Lily slipped away. I didn't notice at first. Why would I? I was too busy soaking in the joy of the moment. But later that night, when Ryan and I opened the envelopes in our hotel room, excitement quickly turned into confusion, and then horror. Nearly half the envelopes were gone. Thousands of dollars meant for our new life together had simply vanished. At first, I thought maybe they'd been misplaced, or someone from the hotel staff had gotten their hands on them. I wanted to believe anything except the truth that was slowly sinking in. But then, one of my cousins mentioned seeing Lily leaving early with her purse bulging in a way that didn't look normal. Another guest recalled her making jokes at the table about needing money for her own future. That's when it hit me. Lily, my sister, my maid of honor. She had stolen from me on the most important day of my life. Ryan was furious. He wanted to call the police immediately, but I froze. This was my sister, the girl who grew up sharing a bedroom with me, whispering secrets under the covers at night. I couldn't believe she was capable of doing something so heartless. The next morning, before we left for the airport, I called her. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. "Lily," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "The envelopes are missing. I need you to tell me the truth. Did you take them?" There was a pause, a long, heavy silence, and then she laughed. "Clara, are you seriously accusing me? On your honeymoon day? Wow." But I could hear it in her voice. Nervous, defensive, not the least bit shocked. She was lying. Ryan whispered at me to hang up, to stop wasting time with her excuses. But I couldn't. I pressed her harder. "If you needed money, you could have asked. But you chose to steal from me on my wedding day. Do you realize what you've done?" Her tone snapped cold. "Oh, get over yourself. You've always had everything handed to you. Perfect job, perfect husband, perfect wedding. I just took what I deserved." My heart dropped into my stomach. She actually admitted it. Not with shame, not with regret, but with pure entitlement. At that moment, the sister I thought I knew felt like a stranger. Ryan grabbed the phone and told her we were considering filing charges unless she returned the money immediately. She scoffed and hung up. We sat in silence for a long time. My honeymoon, the trip I'd been waiting for, was about to start. And instead of feeling joy, I felt betrayed and broken. How do you go on vacation when your own family has just stabbed you in the back? But that was just the beginning. Because while I thought the worst was behind me, Lily wasn't finished. No, She was about to show up in a way that would nearly destroy everything. The flight to the Maldives should have been the start of a dream. White sand beaches, crystal blue water, just me and Ryan starting our new life together. Instead, I sat there on the plane staring out the window, replaying Lily's words in my head. I just took what I deserved. Ryan tried to distract me, telling jokes, holding my hand, reminding me that this was our time. And I tried, I really did, to push the betrayal out of my mind. But the sting of it lingered like a bruise you can't stop pressing. The first few days at the resort were magical despite everything. We walked along the shoreline at sunset, ate candlelit dinners under the stars, and swam together in turquoise lagoons. For fleeting moments, I forgot about the stolen money, but reality always found its way back. Every time I saw couples buying little souvenirs or booking extra excursions, my chest tightened. That was supposed to be us, carefree, with our wedding blessings supporting the start of our life. But then came the unthinkable. It was the 4th night of our honeymoon. Ryan and I had just returned from a snorkeling trip when I saw a familiar figure at the lobby check-in desk. At first, I thought the heat was playing tricks on me. But when the woman turned, tossing her long auburn hair over her shoulder, my stomach dropped. Lily. My sister had flown to the same resort. I froze in place, my heart hammering in my chest. Ryan's eyes followed mine, and the moment he saw her, his jaw clenched so tight I thought his teeth would crack. She didn't, he whispered. Oh, she did, I murmured back, my throat dry. We stood there, hidden behind a decorative column, watching her flirt with the concierge, laughing like she was on her own little vacation. I wanted to scream. What nerve did she have to show up here, after stealing from us? But it didn't take long to figure out how. She had paid for her trip with our wedding gift money. I stormed forward before Ryan could stop me. Lily! I snapped, my voice echoing through the lobby. She turned, her eyes widening in mock surprise. Clara, what are the odds? The odds? I hissed. You stole my wedding money and now you're here crashing my honeymoon? Other guests turned their heads, whispers starting to ripple through the lobby. Lily smiled sweetly, like she thrived on the attention. Relax, sis. This island isn't your personal property. I can be wherever I want. Ryan stepped in, his voice like steel. You didn't just decide to come here. You paid for this with money that wasn't yours. You robbed us. Lily rolled her eyes. Oh, please. You're acting like I mugged you in an alley. It's family money. You'll survive. My face burned with anger. Family money? As if the thousands our relatives gifted us were some community pot for her reckless lifestyle. The resort staff stepped in, sensing the tension. Ladies, gentlemen, please, the concierge said carefully. Perhaps you'd like to take this conversation somewhere more private? But Lily wasn't backing down. She smirked and leaned closer to me. Face it, Clara. You've always been the golden girl. Maybe for once it's my turn to enjoy life. I could feel my composure slipping, but Ryan squeezed my hand, grounding me. He whispered, Don't let her ruin this trip. Let's handle it smart. So we walked away, but my heart was racing. The next day, things only escalated. Everywhere we went, whether it was the beach, the breakfast buffet, or the spa, Lily somehow showed up. She acted like she belonged there with us, like she wasn't a thief who had trampled on my wedding day. She would wave at me from across the pool with a smug grin, or accidentally bump into us during dinner, making snide comments like, Wow, this honeymoon must be expensive. Good thing you had some extra funds lying around. Ryan grew more furious each time. We should have her thrown out, he said one night. We have proof of what she did. The emails, the phone call, your cousin's testimony. This is harassment, but I hesitated. She was still my sister. As much as I wanted to lash out, some part of me clung to the hope that she would come to her senses, apologize, and end this nightmare. That illusion shattered 2 nights later. We returned to our villa after a long day on the water, only to find the door slightly open. My heart jumped into my throat. Ryan pushed inside first, and what we saw made my blood run cold. Our luggage had been rifled through. Clothes scattered across the floor, and on the bed, one of our travel wallets lay open, cash missing, and sitting on the balcony, sipping a cocktail like she owned the place, was Lily. You. I screamed. She smirked, swirling her drink. Oh, don't be so dramatic. I was just borrowing a little more. To make my stay comfortable. That was the breaking point. Ryan lunged forward, snatching the glass from her hand. Enough! You've crossed every line imaginable. But Lily only laughed, like it was all a game to her. That's when I realized she wasn't just selfish. She was dangerous. And if we didn't take action now, she would ruin not just our honeymoon, but possibly our marriage too. The sight of Lily lounging on our balcony, sipping stolen drinks with stolen money, snapped something inside me. I had been holding on to the last thin thread of, she's my sister. Maybe she'll come around. But at that moment, I knew I had to protect myself, my marriage, and my sanity. Get out, I said, my voice trembling but firm. Lily laughed, setting her glass down. Oh, come on, Clara. Don't act like such a saint. You've got plenty. Sharing won't kill you. Ryan stepped forward, his fists clenched. This isn't sharing. This is stealing, manipulating, and destroying everything you touch. You're leaving tonight. But Lily didn't move. Instead, she stood, closing the distance between us with a smirk. And what if I don't? Are you going to drag me out? Call Mommy and Daddy? Please, I'd love to see their faces when they find out their perfect daughter turned on her own sister. The words cut deep. She knew exactly where to strike. Family guilt, the bond we'd been raised to believe was unbreakable. But Ryan wasn't having it. He pulled out his phone, dialing the front desk. Yes, this is Villa 14. We have an intruder, unauthorized access. We need security now. For the first time, Lily's smirk faltered. Oh, really? You'd call security on your own sister? Ryan's eyes burned with fury. Watch me. Within minutes, 2 resort security officers arrived. They were polite but firm, asking Lily to explain why she was inside our private villa without authorization. She launched into a dramatic performance, claiming she was visiting her sister and had been invited. But Ryan cut her off, presenting the resort staff with our check-in records, proving she had her own separate room. He also explained that valuables had gone missing. The officers asked to check her bag. Lily's eyes darted nervously, and that's when I knew. She was caught. Inside her beach tote, they found a wad of crumpled cash, clearly from our wallet. The head officer's expression hardened. Ma'am, you'll need to come with us. Wait, Lily shouted, her composure cracking. She turned to me, eyes wide and desperate. Clara, don't let them do this. I'm your sister. Blood is thicker than water. You can't let a stranger drag me out like a criminal. Tears stung my eyes, but I shook my head. No, Lily, you did this. I gave you chance after chance. You ruined my wedding. You ruined my honeymoon. And you don't even care. I can't protect you anymore. For the first time, her bravado collapsed. She looked small, fragile, even scared. But it wasn't enough to erase what she'd done. The officers escorted her out, despite her protests. As the door shut behind them, I collapsed into Ryan's arms, shaking. Relief and grief twisted inside me, battling for dominance. That night, we tried to salvage what was left of our honeymoon. But the damage lingered like an open wound. I lay awake staring at the ceiling, wondering how my own sister could betray me so deeply. The next morning, the resort manager called us in. He explained that after reviewing security footage and hearing our testimony, Lily had been banned from the property. She had also been forced to settle part of the missing money from her room safe, though the majority was gone. Do you want us to involve the local authorities? The manager asked gently. I looked at Ryan, torn. He wanted to press charges. I could see it in his eyes. But I hesitated. Despite everything, this was Lily, my sister. Could I really send her to jail? We'll handle it back home, I whispered. Ryan didn't argue, though I could feel his disappointment. The rest of the trip, we avoided mentioning her. We forced ourselves to laugh, to enjoy the beaches, to rebuild the sense of peace she had shattered. Slowly, the beauty of the Maldives seeped back into us, softening the edges of the pain. But deep down, I knew this wasn't over. Lily would not go quietly. She had humiliated herself, but she would twist the story when we got home. She would cry to our parents, paint herself as the victim, and somehow make me look like the villain. And sure enough, the moment we landed, my phone buzzed with messages from Mom. "We need to talk about what you did to Lily. She's devastated." From Dad. "I can't believe you humiliated your own sister on your honeymoon." My chest tightened. She had beaten me to it. Lily had already poisoned them against me. Ryan squeezed my hand, whispering, "This is where the real fight begins." And he was right. If I didn't stand up for myself now, Lily would destroy not just my wedding memories, but my entire family bond, and so I prepared for the confrontation of my life. The drive from the airport to my parents' house felt heavier than the 12-hour flight we had just endured. I could already picture it, Lily, sitting at the kitchen table with fake tears streaming down her face, spinning her lies, and my parents swallowing every word. Ryan gripped the steering wheel tightly. "You don't have to go in there, Clara. We can cut ties. Start fresh without them if they can't see the truth." But I shook my head. "No, I can't just let her rewrite the story. If I don't speak up, she'll keep painting me as the monster." When we walked into my parents' house, the atmosphere was tense. My mother's arms were crossed, her lips pressed into a thin line. My father avoided eye contact, fiddling with his coffee cup. And Lily, oh Lily, was curled up on the couch in a dramatic display, dabbing her eyes with tissues. "There she is," Lily said, her voice cracking. "The sister who threw me out of a hotel like garbage, who called security on her own blood." I almost laughed at the audacity. Instead, I kept my voice calm. "Tell the whole story, Lily. Tell them how you stole thousands of dollars from my wedding. Tell them how you broke into our villa on our honeymoon and stole again," Mom gasped, shaking her head. "Clara, that's a serious accusation. Lily told us you overreacted, that she only borrowed some money because she was in a tough spot." "Borrowed?" Ryan cut in sharply. "Borrowed means you ask first and return it. She didn't do either. We caught her with the cash in her bag. The resort security banned her for theft. This isn't an opinion, it's fact." Dad frowned. "You had her thrown out in another country, Clara. Do you know how humiliating that was for us when she called?" My heart sank. They weren't even asking if it was true. They were more concerned about embarrassment than betrayal. "Dad," I said quietly, "she didn't just embarrass herself. She humiliated me at my wedding. She robbed us, ruined the trip, and acted like she deserved it." Lily sat up straighter, her crocodile tears gone. "Oh, please. You've always wanted me to be the screw-up. You couldn't stand me having a little fun on the same level as you, so you exaggerated everything. Admit it, Clara. You've always hated me." Her words hit me like a slap. "Hated you? I defended you for years. I covered for you when you skipped classes, when you got fired, when you couldn't pay rent. I loved you, Lily. I wanted the best for you. But what you did wasn't fun. It was cruel." Ryan added, "If it were anyone else, any guest, any stranger, you would have called the police without hesitation. But because it's Lily, you're letting her play victim." Mom's voice wavered. "She's your sister. Sisters forgive each other." And that was the breaking point. I stood tall, looking at both my parents. "No, forgiveness doesn't mean ignoring abuse. Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending theft and betrayal didn't happen. If you allow this, she'll keep doing it. Not just to me, but to you. To anyone who lets her get close." Lily's face hardened. The tears stopped completely. "So what, Clara? You're going to cut me out of your life? Over money?" "It's not about money," I said, my voice firm. "It's about respect. And you showed me none." The room went silent. My parents looked torn. Their loyalty stretched thin between their daughters. But for the first time, I didn't feel like a little girl begging for their approval. I felt like a woman drawing a line. Ryan reached for my hand. "We're leaving," he said firmly. "We don't need to keep subjecting ourselves to this circus." I hesitated only a moment, then nodded. As we walked toward the door, Lily called after me. You'll regret this, Clara. Family is all you've got. When Ryan leaves you, when your life falls apart, don't come crawling back to me. I stopped, my hand on the doorknob. Slowly, I turned and looked at her one last time. No, Lily. When your life falls apart, don't come crawling back to me. And with that, we left. The car ride home was quiet, but not heavy this time. It was freeing. I had chosen myself, my marriage, my peace. Ryan finally broke the silence. I'm proud of you. That took strength. I smiled weakly, tears sliding down my face. It doesn't feel strong, it feels heartbreaking. He squeezed my hand. Sometimes strength feels like heartbreak, but it's still strength. I leaned into him, knowing he was right. But deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that Lily wasn't finished. People like her rarely walk away quietly, and I was right. Because a week later, she found a new way to strike back. One that threatened not just my family ties, but my entire reputation. A week later, I was finally starting to breathe again. Ryan and I settled into our new apartment, opened the few wedding gifts we still had, and began building the peaceful life we'd dreamed about. I thought maybe, just maybe, the storm had passed. But then, the storm came crashing back, louder than ever. It started with a phone call from my boss. "Clara," he said carefully, "I need to ask you something. Is everything okay at home? Because I've been hearing some troubling things." My heart dropped. "What do you mean?" He hesitated. "There are rumors going around that you stole money at your own wedding, that your husband covered it up, and that your family doesn't trust you anymore. I don't believe it, but you know how gossip spreads." My blood ran cold. I didn't need to guess who was behind it. Lily. After I hung up, I found that my phone was flooded with messages from friends, old classmates, even distant relatives. Screenshots of Facebook posts, Instagram stories, and whispered threads online. Lily had taken the fight public. She posted a long, dramatic rant about being betrayed by her older sister and how she was framed for theft to cover up Clara's own greed. She painted herself as the poor, innocent victim of a jealous bride who couldn't stand to share the spotlight. And people believed her. Comments flooded in. "Wow, family can be so toxic. If Clara really did that, she doesn't deserve her husband. Stay strong, Lily. You're better off without her," I wanted to scream. How could anyone believe her lies after everything she had done? Ryan held me while I sobbed into his chest. "We can't let this go unchecked," he said firmly. "If she wants war, we'll give her war." I wiped my eyes, my anger rising. Fine. No more protecting her. No more worrying about what Mom and Dad will think. She wants the truth? She's about to get it. So, we gathered evidence. I pulled up the text messages from Lily where she half admitted to taking the money. We had voice recordings from the phone call before our honeymoon where she laughed and said, "I just took what I deserved." We had emails from the resort manager documenting her ban and the incident report from security about the stolen cash. Together, Ryan and I crafted a clear, honest post. I uploaded it with screenshots and receipts, laying out everything she had done, from stealing the wedding gift money to breaking into our villa to spreading lies about me online. The post went viral among our circle within hours. People were shocked. Some reached out apologizing for believing Lily. Others turned on her completely. But the fallout at home was explosive. My mom called me screaming. "How could you humiliate your sister like this in front of everyone? Family. Matters should stay private," I shot back. "She made it public first, Mom. She dragged me through the mud, and you stayed silent. I had to defend myself." Dad's voice broke through the background, softer but firm. "You've both gone too far. This has to stop before it destroys us all." But I couldn't stop. Not now. Lily had crossed every line, and it was time she faced real consequences. Ryan suggested we consult a lawyer. "She's committing defamation, Clara. She's damaging your career, your reputation, your life. This isn't just family drama anymore. It's legal." The lawyer agreed. He explained that with the amount of evidence we had, we could not only sue for defamation, but also file charges for theft. For the first time, I saw a path forward, not one fueled by guilt or fear, but by justice. When Lily caught wind of the lawsuit, she exploded. She spammed my phone with furious texts. "How dare you drag lawyers into this? You're destroying the family. If you do this, I'll never forgive you." I stared at those messages, my hands shaking. The old me would have hesitated, terrified of losing my sister forever. But the new me, the one who had been pushed past every breaking point, finally replied with one simple message. "You did that yourself." Ryan kissed the top of my head. "I'm proud of you. She can't bully you anymore." Still, I knew Lily wouldn't go down without a fight. And I was right. Because the day the lawsuit papers were served, she decided to launch one final desperate attack, one that threatened to shatter everything I had built. The day Lily was served with the lawsuit, I felt a strange mix of relief and dread. Relief that finally, something concrete was being done. Dread because I knew Lily. When cornered, she never backed down quietly. And I was right. Not even 24 hours later, my phone buzzed with a flood of notifications. My heart sank as I opened social media. Lily had posted a long, venomous video, crying on camera, voice shaking, pretending to be heartbroken. "She's my sister," she said dramatically. "But Clara has destroyed me. She's suing me because I dared to tell the truth. She's lying about everything. She set me up to look like a thief because she's jealous of me. She's always been jealous of me." The comments section blew up. "Wow, your sister sounds toxic. Stay strong, Lily. You don't deserve this. Clara's husband probably forced her to sue you." I felt sick. It wasn't just gossip now. Her lies were gaining traction, painting me as some cold, vindictive villain. Ryan sat beside me, scrolling through the comments with clenched fists. "She's weaponizing sympathy. Classic manipulator move. But this time, we're ready. We have facts. Evidence always wins over theatrics." Still, I couldn't shake the knot in my chest. What if people only believed her sob story? What if this lawsuit tore my family apart beyond repair? 2 weeks later, the court date arrived. Walking into that courtroom felt like stepping into a nightmare. My parents sat on Lily's side, their faces tight with disapproval. They hadn't spoken to me since the lawsuit was filed. Lily strutted in like she owned the place, wearing a bright red dress, her hair perfectly styled. She even waved to the gallery like she was some kind of celebrity. I wanted to scream. When it was our turn, my lawyer laid everything out. The missing wedding money, the texts where Lily admitted she took what she deserved, the voice recording where she laughed about it, the resort's incident report banning her for theft, screenshots of her posts defaming me online. Piece by piece, the mask slipped off Lily's face. When it was her turn, she launched into her usual theatrics, crying, shaking, accusing me of being controlling and jealous. She even claimed Ryan had brainwashed me into turning against her. But every time she lied, we countered with proof. By the time the judge adjourned for the day, it was clear who was telling the truth. That night, I finally slept peacefully, for the first time in months. But Lily wasn't done. The next morning, Ryan shook me awake. "Clara, turn on your phone." My stomach dropped as I opened it. There it was, another explosion online. But this time she had gone too far. Lily had posted private photos of me from years ago. Old journal entries I had confided in her. Embarrassing, deeply personal details she had saved just for a moment like this. She plastered them across social media, twisting them into ammunition to humiliate me. "She's always been unstable," she wrote. "Look at her journals. She's obsessed with controlling me. She needs therapy, not a husband. I felt my knees buckle. Those journals were my safe space, the place where I poured my pain during college. She had violated the deepest part of me. Ryan caught me before I collapsed. "Hey, look at me. This isn't the end. This is desperation. She knows she's losing, so she's lashing out. And now she's crossed into criminal territory, revenge and harassment. The court will eat this alive." But I was shaking, my hands cold as ice. "She's not just trying to ruin me. She wants to destroy me." Ryan kissed my forehead. "And she won't succeed, because now we're going to hit her harder than ever." That day, we added new charges to the lawsuit: cyber harassment, invasion of privacy, emotional damages. Our lawyer assured us Lily had gone too far this time, and deep down, I finally believed it. This wasn't just about money anymore. This was about survival, about reclaiming my life, my dignity, and my peace. As I stared at my reflection in the IC mirror that night, I whispered to myself, "This ends with me." She won't win, but the final showdown was still to come, and it would test me in ways I never imagined. The day of the final court hearing arrived like a storm. I felt a mix of nerves, fear, and resolve as Ryan and I stepped into the courtroom. This was it, the moment where truth, evidence, and justice would collide with lies, manipulation, and betrayal. Lily entered last, her usual confidence slightly shaken. She tried to smile at me, but I refused to look. My eyes were fixed on the future I was about to claim, a life free from her chaos. The judge listened patiently as both sides presented their cases. Lily attempted to paint herself as a victim again, throwing in fabricated stories of how Clara forced her into debt and manipulated our parents against her. She sobbed. She gestured wildly. She tried every emotional trick she could muster. But we had everything: the texts, the recordings, the resort reports, and a timeline of every lie and theft. Each time Lily tried to manipulate the room, the proof we presented cut her arguments down like a razor. The judge paused, looking directly at her. "Ms. Lily, it is clear from the evidence that your actions went beyond family disagreements. Theft, harassment, and defamation are serious offenses, and the court cannot ignore them." I felt my chest tighten as I listened. Justice wasn't just words here. It was real, tangible, and finally validating the nightmare I had endured. Lily's face turned pale, and for the first time, I saw fear. Not the playful smirk, not the entitled glare, but pure fear. She had no safety net. No excuses, no allies. The judge continued, "The court orders that Ms. Lily return all stolen funds immediately, issue a public retraction of her defamatory statements, and pay damages for emotional distress caused to the plaintiff. Furthermore, any further harassment or attempts to interfere with Ms. Clara's life will result in immediate legal consequences." The words echoed in the room like a final bell. Relief, disbelief, and vindication washed over me. I felt tears prick my eyes, but this time they weren't from heartbreak. They were from triumph. Ryan reached over and held my hand tightly. "We did it," he whispered. I nodded, feeling a weight lift from my shoulders. The months of betrayal, the sleepless nights, the anxiety, the fear, it was finally over. After the court session, we stepped outside into the cool air. The sun was shining, but it felt different, lighter, warmer, freer. I could breathe again without the constant fear of Lily crashing back into my life. I took a deep breath and finally allowed myself to reflect on what had happened. This wasn't just about stolen money or a ruined honeymoon. It was about boundaries, respect, and self-worth. I had learned that love for family has limits, and sometimes standing up for yourself is the bravest form of love. That night, Ryan and I celebrated quietly. No extravagant dinner, no party, just the two of us, reflecting on what we had survived and what we had built together. I realized that even though Lily tried to steal my joy, my life, and my peace, she had failed. I had reclaimed all three. Weeks later, The public apology Lily was forced to issue was posted online. It was short, insincere, and clearly crafted under legal pressure, but to me, it was a victory. She had to acknowledge the truth, even if grudgingly. And my parents. Slowly, over time, they began to understand. They couldn't undo the months of tension, but seeing the evidence and the court's decision made them realize the depth of her betrayal. Relationships would heal, but the lessons stayed clear. Loyalty and trust are earned, not assumed. As for Lily, she tried to reach out after the judgment, sending vague apologies and manipulative messages. But I didn't respond. I had learned something crucial. Some people don't change, and some battles are won not by confrontation, but by walking away with your dignity intact. Ryan wrapped his arms around me as we watched the sunset. No more shadows, Clara. This is your life now. I leaned into him, feeling the warmth of love and safety that I had fought so hard to protect. Yes, I whispered. No more shadows. Just us, our life, and our future. For the first time in months, I felt fully at peace. The nightmare that began with stolen money and a honeymoon almost ruined had ended with justice, clarity, and the knowledge that no betrayal, no matter how close, could take away the life I had fought to create. And in that moment, I vowed to never let anyone, not even family, cross the line again. Because some lines, once drawn, are meant to be protected fiercely. This was my story. My betrayal, my fight, and my victory